everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Rochelle from Rochelle.Handmade.Designs, and in this video we are finally doing that infinity romper. Okay, so you guys know project number 7 was the peplum and the dress. I decided to do a infinity romper. You have seen so many infinity dresses, infinity jumpsuits, so I figured why not an infinity romper to tie all of these items together. Okay, now before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe button, and also turn on the notification bell so you are notified every time I upload a new video. So before we get straight on into the sew along, let me give you a little back detail of why I created this. So the white and black outfit that you have seen, you will be seeing, basically, that was supposed to be used as my peplum, but because I didn't have enough fabric, I had to, you know, basically pull out another fabric. So that's how this red, white, black, and yellow tribal fabric came about. I wanted to do a dress, but I didn't have enough for that, so I decided to do an infinity romper. Okay, now for the shorts, I used McCall's 8119, which I have already done a sew along for. So you can look at that sew along, do the shorts, and then self-draft you a waistband. You need to cut 2. Now, my waistband measured 33.5. So that's my waist measurement of a 33 plus a ½ inch, making it 33.5. Now you can determine how tall you want your waistband. And what I mean by that is simply, all you have to do is measure how long you want. Now I did a 2-inch waistband. So across I did 33.5. by 2 inches high, and then made a ½ inch seam allowance all the way around, top, bottom, and sides. Okay, so that is what I did for the shorts. For the infinity ties, you will hear the entire sew along for the infinity ties and how to attach it to your waistband. Okay, so pay attention to that, because if you're doing this, you can have you an entire infinity jumpsuit, infinity romper, infinity dress, infinity skirt, whatever you want to do with your infinity whatever. All right, now one last thing I want to tell you is the front bust. So in the tutorial I say to measure your front bust. Now I'm gonna grab my tape measure and show you what that means. So basically right here at your bust line, all you're going to do is measure from one seam to one seam. So normally I would have a shirt on, but because I do not have a fitted t-shirt on, I'm just gonna measure from one side to the other side across, and then write that number down. Now mine is 20. Make sure you do whatever your measurement is. Okay, so that is how you measure your front bust. Measure from one side to the other side, underarm to underarm. Okay, so now that I talked about that, let's go ahead and get right on into the sew along. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this quick sew along for what we're doing today is an infinity romper. Now the shorts is McCall's 8119, which you can go to that video and see how to construct the shorts. Okay, now I'm not going to do that in this sew along because there's a video for you to create that by going to that video, McCall's 8119, which I will go ahead and link to it here so you could go ahead and see that. I'll link to it in the description box below. Now this tutorial is after you see that video for the shorts, just putting the shorts together, you could come back here and then you could go ahead and attach your infinity ties to your romper. That's what we're going to do, or your shorts or pants or whatever you want to attach it to, including a skirt. Okay, now first thing I want to do is tell you what I drafted right here. So what I have here is the infinity top or infinity ties that I'm going to drape over my shoulders and tie and all that good stuff. Okay, so now how did I get this measurement? You want to take your front bust. So my front bust, measuring across my front bust at my nipples, is 20 inches. Okay, so write that number down. After you write 20 inches, you want to divide by 2. which gives me 10 inches. After you divide by 2, you want to add 1 inch, which is because of your pleats. There's going to be a pleat there. You're going to make 2 pleats. So you want to add 1 inch, which gives me 11 inches. So my length, my width up and down will be 11 inches. Now the length I want is 22 inches. 11 times 2 is 22. So I want 22 inches length, and then the width up and down will be 11 inches. So create your box for your tie, 22 inches across, 11 inches up and down, or whatever your measurement was. Let's say your front bust measures 14 inches, right? Divide 14 divided by 2, which is 7. Add 1 inch for your pleats, which gives you 8. So up and down you would create 8 instead of the 11, and across you would still do 22 inches, okay? Or you could make it shorter, where if this side is 8, you could do 16 inches length. The length is up to you. I'm just doing 22 inches because I want to be able to tie it into a nice lovely bow. After you make your draft your infinity ties, you want to on the left hand side you want to put cut on fold, and you're going to cut 4 on the fold of fabric. So basically, if your fold is normally facing you on this side, right, you would basically put it on the fold and cut with your scissors or your rotary cutter or whatever you may have, okay? So just cut this 4 times. So you're going to cut this pattern 4 times on the fold. All right, so after you do that, I'm gonna move this out the way. After you draft your pattern and cut it on the fold, this is what you have. You have 4 pieces for your infinity ties, okay? Now, another thing I wanna mention is your shorts. So for your shorts, make sure you draft a waistband, okay? Now your waistband will be that if you want a waistband, I am doing a waistband for my shorts to attach to my infinity top, okay? Now my waistband will be, or what you need to draft is I'm gonna say a rectangle that measure your waist measurement plus a 1/2 inch, okay? So since my waist is right now is a 33, I have already drafted and cut it out. This waistband measured 33.5 by 2 inches, okay? Now, you can make your height whatever you want it to be, all right? Now, I just decided to do 2 inches high for mine. So across is 33.5, up and down is 2 inches. So basically, you're just going to make your, basically like this, and your seam allowance after you draft 33 or whatever your waist measurement is plus a 1/2 inch, mine is 33.5 inches across. High is 2 inches. Make sure you add seam allowance all the way around. Now your seam allowance all the way around your pattern should be a 1/2 inch, okay? So just make sure that you have a 1/2 inch all the way around your waistband, okay? Just like this, you see the box. Just make sure you do a 1/2 inch at the top, a 1/2 inch at the side, and a 1/2 inch at the bottom, okay? Now you want to cut 2 out, not on the fold, just cut 2 out, and 1 will be attached to your shorts, 1 will be attached to your infinity tie. You will attach it together to get that nice finished look on the inside and on the outside. That's why you need 2 waistbands, all right? So now that we talked about that, I'm going to bring my shorts so you can see what my shorts looks like so far. So basically, I didn't do nothing magical. I just sewed my shorts together like it shows in the video from McCall's 8119. After I did that, I went ahead and attached my waistband. Make sure you interface your waistband. So when you cut 2, you need to interface 2 of the waistbands, okay? After I attached my waistband to the upper portion of my shorts, I went ahead and with right sides together, I went ahead and stitched using 5/8 inch seam allowance and a basting stitch from the bottom where the dot is all the way up to the waistband, all right? Once I did that, I went ahead and pressed my seam allowance open, which is what you see. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and install my zipper. Now I do not want elastic back in the back. I actually want a zipper in the back because I feel like it will give me a nice, lovely detail, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and insert my zipper here. Go ahead and insert your zipper as you have seen me insert zippers. Now, I will be adding some interfacing just to stabilize the zipper area like I have always done. You could do that as well. Now go ahead and do your zipper now. Completely do your zipper. Now I will be using a longer zipper to keep it out of the way for when I attach my infinity ties to my top, okay? So go ahead and do your zipper now. All right, so now that I have my zipper installed in the back of my shorts, or what's going to be my romper, it looks very good. I'm gonna zip that back up. Now you can, I went ahead and serged mine because I'm just going to press it up 5/8 of an inch and sew on the right side. You can go ahead and do that, or you can wait until you try on your shorts and see how far you want to hem it. That's completely up to you. Now your shorts is pretty much done. Now what we're gonna do is move our shorts over to the side and go ahead and start working on our infinity ties. Now, grab 2 of your ties. You're gonna do the same thing to the other ones, but I'm just gonna work with 2 to make it easier for you. And what you're going to do is with wrong sides together, you're going to attach at the side seam. So instead of right sides together, you're going to attach them wrong sides together. So I'm just going to go ahead and place them wrong sides together, and we're just going to make what is called a French seam. All right. So I'm just going to take both of these wrong sides together. I know it's very awkward to say wrong sides together. And then you're going to pin. So go ahead and pin across now. And you're pinning across these short end, not the long end, just the short end. So go ahead and pin across now. Now that I have that pinned across on the short edge, using a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, backstitch at the beginning and at the end, and sew across your ties now. All right, so now that I went ahead and sewn the ties with wrong sides together at a 1/4 of an inch, this is what it looks like. The next thing you're going to do, this is what it looks like. I'm gonna bring it to the camera so you can see that. The next thing you're gonna do is put it now right sides together. Now I went ahead and pressed mine right here, and what you're going to do is take it to the sewing machine and using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, backstitch at the beginning and at the end, and use a regular length stitch on your sewing machine. So go ahead and do that now. All right, so now that I have my ties attached at the, you could pretty much say shoulder seams, I went ahead and sewn that right sides together at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So this is what it looks like. After I did that, I went ahead and serged this long ends, both of the long ends and one of the short ends. I'm going to show you the short end. So I serged one of the short ends across. So this is the short end. And then both of the long end, both sides of the long end. All right, so now what you're going to do on this end is you have one end that is unserged. This is going to be hidden in your waistband, so you do not have to worry about this edge that is unserged. That is perfectly fine. Now I'm just gonna show you on this one, you could do this all yourself, but because I went ahead and serged it, and what you're going to do is press up a 1/4 of an inch on all sides that are serged. So you're gonna press up a 1/4 of an inch and then top stitched all the way around. So you're going to do both long sides and that edge that has the serge part, the part that's serged. You're just gonna press in a 1/4 of an inch and then top stitch that 1/4 of an inch, okay? On both of your ties. Go ahead and do that now. So now that I went ahead and finished off my ties, I went ahead and stitched on the right side at a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So what you're going to do is go ahead and have this portion of your tie, which is the one with the raw edge. Go ahead and grab your shorts, your pants, your skirt, whatever you did, whichever one that you did. And what you want to do is fold it in half. So when you fold it in half, you're going to make a clip, and that will become your center. You want to clip right there at the center. Then fold it in half again and make another clip on both of those, okay? So you should have a total of 3 clips. And what you're going to do is you're going to take one tie and make sure you are using the waistband of the shorts, okay? So what you're going to do is you have a notch there, which is your center, and then you have a notch there. So what you're going to do is take your ties right side together, and at that notch that you have there, you're going to pin your tie to the end where you have that notch. And then you're going to pin the other end to the front where you made that notch at the front right here. So you're just going to pin right here. Now what I'm going to do is pin along the top portion of my waistband. Now you may have some extra fabric there. If so, all you're going to do is take up that extra fabric and make a small pleat by just moving it over to the right. So I'm just going to take up that fabric, move it over to the right, and pin. Okay? So I'm just going to pin all the way across, and then after you do that, pin all the way across your waistband now. Now that I have this waistband done, you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So go ahead and pin that waistband the same way. Now that I have my ties pinned along my waistband of my short, go ahead and grab the other waistband. And what you want to do is you want to attach this to the wrong side of your tie, but the right side of your waistband. So with right sides together, you're going to do the same exact thing. Make sure you open out your zipper area, and you're just going to basically pin it all the way around. So go ahead and pin your waistband all the way around your shorts now. All right, so now that I have my waistband, this waistband pinned onto my shorts using a 1/2 inch seam allowance, you're going to start at one side, back stitch at the beginning, so all the way around, and back stitch at the end. Once you do that, press your seam allowance up towards the waistband, and then trim your seam allowance down. Also on this edge right here, you want to press in press in a 1/2 inch seam allowance, then trim it down to 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, okay? So go ahead and do that now. All right, so now that I went ahead and attached my ties onto my waistband, I went ahead and attached the waistband is on top of that. Now I'm looking at the back of mine. I'll show the front in just a moment, but I'm looking at the back where the zipper area is. Now I'm gonna have you do a couple of things on your own because I'm pretty sure you could do this. This seam allowance should be pressed up. This seam allowance right here should be pressed up as well. You're going to understitch on this side, on this facing piece. You're going to understitch all the way around using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. After you do that, you're just going to go ahead, it's going to look something like this. You're going to go ahead and attach your waistband onto your shorts, making sure you are about 1/8 inch past this stitching line on your shorts, like this. And it's to make sure that you have a good finish on the inside of your shorts, okay? So go ahead and do that. After you do that, all you have left to do is your hem Now the hem allowance is 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So all you're going to do is press up 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, stitch all the way around, and you are all done with your romper. Go ahead, give it a wash, give it a press. And if you make this romper, go ahead and tag me on Instagram at Rochelle.Handmade.Designs. So I'll catch you in the next video. And as always, keep sewing. All right, so there you have it. That is the complete sew along for the Infinity Romper. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you are notified every time I upload a new video. So stay tuned because the last video for this collection will be the lightweight jacket. You wouldn't want to miss it, all right? And also in that video, I will also show you how I paired everything together, so you wouldn't want to miss it. So until next time, keep sewing.